Love is a happy thing, and happy things are happening to me. Love is a happy thing, a groovy light, and it's feeling like feeling fine.
This is like, how do I make this not move so much? Oh well, fuck it.
Well, you have to move this
No,
thing.
I know, I don't want that high. Ay, ay, ay.
Ay, ay, ay. Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome, everybody, to
Welcome.
Between Us Only.
Yes.
So I think in this episode we were going to, we wanted to talk about psychology.
More about memories and
Why our brain works the way it works.
not that we are experts, but we're just going to talk about our experience.
I'm an expert, actually.
Okay.
I have a GED in psychology. Yeah, so, yeah.
Well,
Today we are
Professor-
going to talk about the brain
Well, you changed.
and how the brain works and how it ticks. And I have some questions for Michelle. My accent changed from I don't know. Yeah, I have a couple things that I looked up. I had some facts, some fun facts, and then I had some some kind of all over the place questions, but some looked interesting on here, I thought. But
do you want to start with the facts or do you want to start with the questions?
I'll just well, here was I don't know.
Start with the questions and then we can jump into the facts.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, well, before making a telephone call, do you ever rehearse what you're going to say?
No.
You don't?
No.
Not even like a big, you don't even like, I mean, rehearsing is like, sometimes I'll think about in my head, like the idea of how the conversation might go.
Yeah.
But I used to do that more, I think, when I was younger. Now I've learned that it's never going to go the way you think.
Well, I'm more just like I rather call someone than text them. I'm a talk on the phone person, so I can sometimes even like just call someone and just be like, hey, and they're like, hey, and I was like,
I think more so
like not having like a directive even
Yeah.
for why I'm calling.
But what about like an important like business call or like almost like an interview, or have you ever had any like big phone calls like that?
I've had, but I feel like there's not much you can like prepare yourself for because there's not like what they're gonna ask.
I don't know. I've had like interviews.
But that's not how I see with like, do you prepare what you're gonna say in the head before you make the call? Like that's not what, because like for me that would be like the opening line would be something that you're rehearsing, not the whole phone call. Because like an interview, my latest phone interview that I did was like 25 minutes long. You can't rehearse that in your head what you're gonna say.
Yeah, but I mean, you can have like a list of points that you're gonna make in the thing, and you can rehearse those points. But I
rather just I have them written down. I have them written down in like a doc
That's
form.
that's kind of I don't even.
But
think
that's
I've
more
done.
if I need to, like if it's an interview, but
Yeah.
not for anything else.
I mean, that's kind of not. I mean, it's not necessarily rehearsing it, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Sorry, these questions might be stupid. But
No. It's fine. Like, because you said that you did that before, and like, what kind of concept did you do that?
I never wrote anything down. I thought.
No, but like rehearsing.
I
That
never.
was the question.
No, I know, but I never looked in the mirror and said stuff. When I say rehearsing, I'm like, it's more like I'm just thinking in my head
Yeah.
of like, okay, they might ask me this. What am I going to say? And then I'll like give my answer in my head. And then they're like, okay, they might ask me this. And then I'll say my answer in my head.
Yeah.
That's like,
I mean, that's what the question was.
I know, but that's the extent. But that's only for like, I've only done that for like realistically when I've had like over the phone interviews. I've never, even like job interviews, I would just like mentally stress about the job interview, and then I would get in there and it would be completely different from what I thought. Like the person was just really casual and be like, so tell me some other places you worked at, and like it was just very casual. It was never like extremely formal.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a handful of interviews maybe that were formal, but there was no way for me to prepare because I didn't know what they were going to ask me.
Yeah. But I'm thinking the question is more about like, even if you're going to call like me, you're like rehearsing like, okay, I'm going to ask you this, this, and that. And then depending what she said, I'm going to say this, this, and that. Like,
no, I don't know. I think a casual call, it wouldn't make sense to rehearse anything. That'd be weird.
Yeah, but some people do.
Yeah.
Some people do that. What's the next question?
I'm kind of just like, there's a lot of questions on here, but I'm kind of looking at ones that more maybe like apply to psychology. This is supposed to be like, it's like 36 questions. It's
just pick one.
If you were able to live to the age of 90 and can keep either the mind or body of a 30-year-old for the last 60 years of your life, which would you want?
Mind.
Your mind?
Yeah.
I kind of like don't understand this question. So if you're able to live to the age of 90 and you can keep either the mind or the body of a 30-year-old for the last 60 years of your life, which would you want? So
basically your mind, after you turn 30, either your mind stays exactly the same for the next 60 years till you reach 90, or your body stays exactly the same until you reach... Because what I'm thinking is like, if like you can have the best body, the strongest body when you're 90, but if you have dementia, why does it matter?
I guess that's kind of where I was confused when it says to either have the mind of your 30-year-old self or your body. Does that mean you're not like, your mind isn't, you're just keeping the health of your mind, or you're keeping a mind of a 30-year-old, you know?
I think it's the health. Like you're
Okay.
you're immune towards any type of like mental diseases when you're older.
Okay. Then yeah,
like Alzheimer's, dementia.
Yeah, I would choose mine, but I was just like, wasn't sure. I was like, because I feel like every point of my life, like when I was in my 20s, my mind was so different, and then like now in my 30s,
I don't think
Okay.
you're still gonna mature.
I hope so.
You will. You just.
I don't want to be like, I don't want to be in my 60s and I have the mind of a 30-year-old. I don't want that. But
your mind is pretty good now.
I know, but I think in my 40s it's gonna be different. It's gonna be so different.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, these people are watching this are probably like, what the fuck? They said this was gonna be about psychology, and we're just like saying stupid questions.
We didn't even want to introduce it as that.
I know, but I didn't. But you always leave me with the intro, and I didn't know what to say.
I'm sorry.
You okay?
Yeah. No, but it's a wide field.
Yeah.
Of just like talking about like things surrounding, I want to say, psychology.
Yeah, like I think just like the try to maybe talk about and examine more of like why we do the things we do.
Yeah.
And maybe
I think these questions are kind of like psychology because not everybody does them, and I think it's very individual to the person who answers them.
Yeah.
So.
Well, but no, I think what's interesting though is like you and I are very different, and I have like an extremely addictive personality, and you're very like, you can do something and then like just completely stop, and like you're okay with stopping.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if I find something, I'm like, I can't stop. Like when I get into a routine of like, I mean, like I've had so many different moments in my life where I would stick with like a routine of like going to the gym at like 5 a.m.
Yeah.
And like I could do that for months and months and like not miss it, you know?
Yeah.
And even like, I don't know, just like certain things like that. But we can get more into like our own self. I'm just going to do a couple more questions and then.
Yeah, do like 2 or 3 more.
Just because it's. Name 3 things you and your partner appear to have in common.
Are you gonna think of 3 things, and I'm gonna think of 3 things?
I'm thinking right now. I mean, I feel like we might say the same things.
I mean, I hope we do.
Oh, I mean, it's not hope, but.
Great mind thinks alike.
I don't know if you want to compare your mind to mine, but. I mean, if you have any answers, I have like one right off the bat. Like one thing that's very similar to both of us.
Yeah, I have 2, I think.
Okay, well, you say yours, because typically you're always the one that asks the questions and I answer first, so you go.
We're both very family oriented.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to say yours?
We both are like homebodies. We like to be at home.
Yeah. What was the question?
What are 3 things you and your partner appear to have in common?
Appear.
I mean, yeah, I don't know why they said that. I think it's like, it makes me sound like it's like a trick question.
Yeah.
Like, what does it look like we have in
What
common?
does it look like? What are we fooling everybody?
I think just like, yeah, like, I mean, it's from our perspectives.
Yeah.
So.
I would say we're both animal lovers.
Yeah.
Because like neither, yeah. Do you have another one? I want to say 3 each.
Yeah, well, that's what I was planning on, but
okay.
I think we both are very big on saying like I love you to each other, like
affection.
Well, not just affection. It's like we because there's all sorts of ways that we show affection to each other.
Yeah.
You know, like we take care of each other. It's like we're big on physical touch and then like also getting things for each other and like, but I've met a lot of people that like they'll say I love you to their partners, but they don't always say like I love you to people. Mm-hmm. Like I feel like we all, I mean, I guess for me now that I'm thinking on this, like I always say I love you to like all my family members, even family members that like I don't really talk that much to. I was like closer with when I was younger. But like I always say I love you to my aunts and uncles and to like my cousins, and I can tell sometimes that it throws them off a little bit because like I don't see them for years. Yeah. And I see them and like when I'm saying goodbye, I'm like I'll say I love you to them and like as I give them a hug, and sometimes I can see it throws people off.
Yeah, I don't really say I love you to my family.
Yeah, that's what I was just realizing because like.
But the thing is this: every time that I'm on the phone call with my mom and dad, my brother and his wife, my aunt or my cousin, like anybody, grandma, I always end the conversation with puss puss, which means kiss kiss in Swedish. Mm-hmm. And that's just like a Swedish way of like ending a conversation, at least for my family. That's like how everybody is ending the...
What you want to know what's funny is when you have those group phone calls with your family and we're getting off and I'm like, I love you guys. They're like, yeah. I'll say like
no,
yeah.
But the thing is, if I say I love you to a family member, it will be casual. Like nobody reacts in a weird way. Like they will respond, I love you too.
I know, but I'm just saying when I think back on your phone calls, you do say poos poos, which is you're saying that it means kiss kiss, but
yeah. I'm feeling like
I've noticed a handful of times though that I said I've loved you on those open phone calls, and they're all like I hear you're dead.
But I think it's because because it's like I never heard Sarah say I love you guys to like the whole family. Yeah. You know? But that's the thing. And I think it's because like since I can say to my brother or my cousin or my mom and dad, they will respond in a similar way. But once it comes to like I don't know, because like showing like Swedish people are very much like in their own bubble. Mm-hmm. They love their personal space. They do not want to have any contact with anybody they don't know, and I'm not saying that they don't know you, but I think it's just like it throws them off when it's like not within
Well,
I want to say like immediate family.
Well, I'm offended.
I know I'm offended too, but I think that's what it is.
No, I'm offended
like they
by what
get
you
thrown
said.
off.
No, I think just though for me, it's like when I was growing up, my mom said it a lot to me. And I feel like I don't really remember my dad saying it a lot to me.
Yeah.
Like I really don't. And like, I hope he doesn't listen to this, but, as of like more recently, I make it a point, like I'll say I love you to him and like he'll say it, but it was like kind of weird for him, I think, to like say that.
Yeah.
But I mean, like going back to what we talked about, like in a previous episode about when my grandparents died, like that was something that stuck out to my mind too, was like when my dad talked about, and like I saw like that time that he cried was like about when he spoke about the last thing he said to my grandma.
Yeah.
And he said after that, he was like, don't ever let someone leave without like telling them. But my dad, he didn't fully commit to that thing, but that whole moment really stuck with me. But I've just always been really affectionate in that manner. Like, I don't know. I can tell my friends I love them. Yeah. And sometimes I can see people get weirded out by it, but like I don't give a fuck. Like I feel that way, and I don't want people to think I just throw it around. Like it's not meaningful to like it doesn't mean anything. But yeah, if you're in my life and I'm sure I love you. You know, I have a pretty small circle of people around me too. Like I don't. I
remember the first time you told me you loved me.
Yeah. When was that?
You were in New Orleans, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And we were on a phone call.
I said it by accident, and then I was like,
We were like hanging. But the thing was too, like we had been talking on the phone like every night.
Yeah.
And I remember every time that we were like gonna hang up, it was like this like short little awkward silence, because I think we both wanted to say it, but we were both like, oh, I don't know if it's too early to say it, you know? Yeah. And I think you were also a little bit drunk when you said it.
I spent $100 on pizza that night.
That you never got.
Because I kept ordering it, and then they would say it was delivered, and I never got it. And I was like, where the fuck are they leaving that pizza? And I couldn't find out. And so I kept ordering it. And then finally I was like, I spent too much money on pizza I never got. Yeah, that was stupid.
But it was nice.
Yeah.
I represent. Wait, what is it called?
Remember?
No, like I said I love you back when you said it.
Okay, you responded the same?
Yeah, but it has a different R word.
I don't know.
Represented?
No, that's not a word. I feels like you want to say represented, but that's not right.
No, that's not it. Never mind. Continue.
You rebutted with
no.
I love you. I don't know.
Reciprocated.
Reciprocated.
Never mind. Moving on.
Psychology. God damn it.
That's 4, right?
I don't know.
That's 4. Do you have one more?
No, I can't think.
Wow, we only have 4 things in common.
I mean, we have more, but I think it's just like they're like obvious. I'm trying to think more of like personality things or like. But okay. I
mean, we have similar core values too, if you want to count that in.
If you could change one thing about the way you were raised, what would it be?
I don't think I would change anything. I had a very good childhood.
Yeah.
I love my parents, and I've been traveling the whole world since I was 2 months old. they've always like, yes, they were hard on me with like homework and stuff, but I know now that it came from a place of love.
Yeah.
And I'm happy they were that way towards me. So I probably wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah. I mean, there's things that I don't really feel like fully comfortable talking about it on here, but and you know what the things are, but like I don't know if I would actually change anything, because if I did, I wouldn't be who I am today.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking
just
too.
like a small thing that would change
could have changed how you are today.
Yeah, could make
that's why
the
I
difference.
hate the question when it's like, if you could go back in time and change one thing, what would that be? And I'm like, but if I do that, I'm not gonna be the person I am today in the place that I am today. Yeah. Like.
But one thing I will say is like some of the things I went through when I was really young, I would never do to I would never wish that upon anybody or like my children, you know.
Yeah.
But I am but yeah, like if I changed any small detail of my childhood, or like it just would change my whole future probably. I mean, it would. Yeah. But one thing I do wish I would have done when I was like in high school, I wish I would have I wish I would have like taken that a little bit more seriously, but like again, if I would have done that, I probably wouldn't have pursued skateboarding the way I did. So then that could have altered me even making it to California and me doing all the things I did with skateboarding. So it's like, but I wish I would have like not thought I was so stupid and actually been like, no, like you're not stupid. You can do this. You just don't really like the way that they teach you, you know? Yeah. And because we've talked about this too, it's like we both love learning. It's just like the way we learn is kind of different. I mean, for me, for like the school structures that they have, and like I can get very bored if I have to just like sit there quietly in a class for an hour and like read from a textbook. I just like I like doing stuff. There was certain classes that I really liked, like American Studies. We had like a debate class, and this was pretty big during.
I hated debate.
Well, I liked it. I liked it because I was actually really, really
good at debating.
Well, maybe just because arguing, but no. But like, I was just like I was so involved with like when Obama was running for presidency, and I thought that was such a impactful moment in our country, and like I just remember always watching everything that he was doing, and like I was just really involved with that. Like I remember waking up early and just watching the news every day, and like I would skip all of my classes, and I would come back for lunch, and then I'd go to my American Studies debate class, and I would just like argue with people about like why I agreed with like Obama's policies and stuff. And then I would just leave class, or I'd leave school again and go skateboarding. Like I did that all the time. I would go because that class was right after lunch. So I would come back to school. My mom would drop me off in the morning. My friends and I would ditch, go skateboarding, come back for lunch, get lunch, and then I'd go to that class, and then I would ditch again. And I did that for months. Oh my God. Yeah. And it was so funny because when like the counselors would talk to me, they were like, you have an A in American Studies and you have Fs in all your other classes because you don't go. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't.
That's funny.
It was just it's like things that interested me. That's why. But off topic here.
No, not really.
Yeah, I mean I don't know, but like again, what we were saying, I probably wouldn't change anything. But again, I wouldn't wish a lot of the stuff that I had to go through on my worst enemies.
That doesn't just because you wish to not change anything doesn't mean that you want other people to experience it, you know?
Yeah. Like and when we have
like
children,
your experiences shaped who you are as a person, and you take away from everything, like even from how we've talked about, like, from the place that I work, if I ever have my own company, I know things that I want to do and things that I do not want to do. So like moving forward, when we have kids, we know more how we want to raise them.
Yeah. Well, that's really the thing that I'm like, I am grateful for, is because the things that happened when I was really young, like, I understand now how they affected me with the problems that I've really been dealing with since you and I have been together.
Yeah.
And like that feeling of not being enough, that feeling of thinking I'm stupid, that feeling of like thinking I'm undeserving of love, are all like little traumas that I accumulated, those little like self-beliefs that I made when I was really little.
Yeah.
And feeling like the smaller I am, the less I will affect the people around me. I'll be more invisible, and like, so those were all things that I really like stuck with, like all through high school. It's so funny when people that I was kind of friends with, or they like, we had the same homeroom, like same first period where you start before you do all your other classes. People would be like, there was this one girl that reached out to me, and she's like, it's so weird that you're doing all of this stuff because you were so shy and quiet in high school. And then there was some girls that thought I was stuck up because I didn't talk to anybody, and I wasn't like, I was not a popular kid in high school. Like, I was just a skateboarder, and he was a skater boy. He said, "See you later." Yeah, like, but it wasn't like a cool skater boy. Like, it was just like,
you probably were. All the girls were like, "Oh, he's so mysterious."
No, it wasn't really. I don't know. It got mixed reviews, but
it got mixed reviews.
But no, but like I just remember feeling like such an outcast, and like I remember one time I was skateboarding during lunch. There was these ledges at North Central, and me and my friends were skating outside, and you weren't really supposed to do that. But this one teacher, God, I think his name was Mr. Moore. I really can't remember, but he was a piece of shit. I don't know where he is today, but you're a piece of shit. But he was just like, he was an asshole.
Yeah.
But he came out there screaming at us, and he's like, I can't wait to. I forgot how he said it, but he was like, I can't wait to like walk into a McDonald's and see you flipping my burgers, and like he said that to me. And I just was just like, I was like, fuck you, fat ass, to his face. And he knew I was in his class, and then I got
detention.
And I got suspended. But I was like, I don't even come to class, so fuck you. Like, suspend me, I don't care. But he was a piece of shit. But I was a little asshole, so I'm like, these are just like my memories from my point of view. He probably was so pissed off at us because he would tell us to not do things, and we were just like little assholes smoking cigarettes. And I mean, I didn't really smoke cigarettes then, but all my friends did.
Yeah.
Should I do another question? Or did you have something yet you wanted to say about that? I don't know what I was like rambling.
No, it's fine. It's interesting to listen to. I don't think I have anything.
Okay. If you could wake up tomorrow having gained any one quality or ability, what would it be?
Ooh. Do you know?
I mean, there's a couple things that come to mind, but it's, I think, just
ability or quality?
Yeah.
I was kind of asked the same question with mine and Hannah's podcast a while back. And I think my answer back then was more like, it wasn't the exact same question, but it was like similar. And I think it was like having the interest of wanting to learn boring things, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wish I had the interest of like wanting to learn like more like read more books who are more like teaching you like
more like textbook type stuff.
Yeah.
Like exactly what we've talked about.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that would be that would be really cool.
Like, and actually be interested in learning, because you know how some people are like really interested of just because you know how like some people are really interested in learning those things, and I just wish I was more one of them. But I don't know, like some people are more textbook and some people are more creative, and
Yeah, I don't know. Like it's hard to say because who knows if you had that ability, it might deter like some of the other things that you have, and like it goes back to like if you could change one thing in your childhood, it might change your whole future. But
if you take it more as like, because it would be nice to like, oh, I wish I woke up tomorrow knowing how to play the guitar.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool. I mean, God, there's so many things that. Now,
honestly, do you know what skill that I would wish I know? Coding.
Yeah, that does not interest me at all. I like even thinking of it, like even if I could do it, I really don't care.
It kind of interests me because like if you code, like I was doing like light coding before. And I was like coding for like websites, like designing websites.
Yeah.
But it's so hard.
Yeah, I used to do coding too on my MySpace page. When you had to like, you literally had to put those codes in to change the background and then to change like the outline colors and all that shit.
What song do you have?
On my MySpace? Mm-hmm. I think the last thing I had was by The Clash. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to think of the song. I can't remember the song. But it was The Clash. Do you know any Clash songs? If I heard it.
No, I don't think I do. But do you think, I don't know if it was real or if it was fake, but I think they said that Instagram is doing an update that you can put a song on your profile now.
Really?
So when you enter your profile, everybody was like, we're going back to MySpace.
Holy crap, that's crazy. I don't know if I like that.
I don't know if I like that either.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. But no, I guess like, I mean, right off the bat, I think I wish I could. I'm learning how to deal with my anxiety. Mm-hmm. Obviously, like every time I have like, I probably have anxiety attacks. I don't know, but like every time I have something close to that, I always get a little better of dealing with it each time. But I just like, I wish when it was happening, I really realized it was happening. Yeah. Like sometimes everything that I've been like, I'll practice goes out the window. Like, and it's like, I just get consumed by it. And it's like, I wish I could deal with that better. But again, it's like from when I was younger and those would happen to now, I've obviously gotten better at dealing with them. I have, because I've had those moments on set where I'm getting that, and when I get those types of things happening, it's literally like my mind goes blank.
Yeah.
Everything that I've been working on and doing, and it's gone, and I can't, and I just like, it's like I'm just, and I feel like will sometimes hold my breath, which when you go through that, it's like the best thing you can do is get air to your brain, just breathe through it is probably the best thing you can do. I mean, for me at least, but, I don't know, like I don't even want to say I don't want to get, like I don't want to say I wish I didn't have anxiety, because I think it has helped me. Yeah. In my life, like it helps me to prepare for stuff. Like I start getting anxious, I'm like, I need to do this, and this, and this, and this, and then that really gets me focused to do what I need to do. Yeah. It's more so when I get like those moments of where my brain goes blank and I'm like I just can't think, and I don't like those moments, but when I get through them, I build a little bit of confidence inside of me of like, oh, I can do this, Yeah. But then when you bring up instruments, I bought a guitar years ago, and I've been trying to learn how to play guitar, not really trying to learn, but there was a brief stint where like I played guitar every morning, and I can grab a guitar and I can play a couple chords and like make it sound like I kind of know how to play, but when I see someone playing that actually knows, it just looks so freeing and fun, and that would be awesome to be able to play guitar. But yeah.
We need to, it's out of tune.
It's actually in tune right now.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, when I was editing a couple days ago, I was sitting there playing it.
Oh.
Take 4 minutes and tell your partner your life story in as much detail as possible.
No, do we have to?
That's kind of interesting.
Not today.
You don't want you don't want to?
No. Because I know that's not going to be 4 minutes for us. It's going to be 30 minutes.
If I timed you.
No, I don't. No.
What if I timed you on my phone and did 4 minutes?
No.
Okay.
No, that's too much thinking. I know we're doing like psychology themed, but that's too much brain function.
Sorry, everybody. You can talk right now. Just talk.
What am I supposed to talk about?
Well, I don't know. Talk about why you're afraid to talk about what I just asked. That's psychology.
It's not about that I'm afraid. It's just like I don't feel like I have the energy to go over it right now. If that makes sense. Okay. Like I feel like it's too early in the morning.
We're literally recording a podcast.
I know, but I don't want to go over my life story because right now my head is very blank. And for me to try to recall everything in 4 minutes also is just like I'm going to be saying a lot, and I don't want to have that in the episode. Like it's not going to be well made.
Okay. Well, let's wrap it up with the questions.
Okay. Do you want to go over the facts?
Here's one that was this is from I found this on a website called Closing the Gap Healthcare. Mm-hmm. It says 5 fun psychology facts we bet you didn't know. Okay. Number 1, it says dopamine makes you addicted to seeking information.
How do you develop dopamine?
In your brain, like from... God, now I'm really going to sound stupid. Well, dopamine, you get dopamine from...
Working out?
You can get dopamine from working out. You can get dopamine hits from literally doing drugs. That's why, like, if you do the only experience I have is, like...
working out. You work out every day.
Yeah, so that you can get dopamine hits from that. You can get dopamine hits from taking cold showers. When you do, like, I think I've heard, like, if you have a checklist, and when you, like, because I know you're a person that does checklists. Every time you check off something you've done, you probably get a dopamine hit from that.
Can I say a little tip if people are procrastinators?
Yeah.
When it comes to checklists, if you have like 5 big things that you need to be done that day, also add 5 like very easy tasks, like make the bed or take a shower or for us like take the dogs out or eat breakfast, like something easy, you know? Mm-hmm. Because then when you check those easy things off, it makes you want to check off more things. Yeah, like you said, like it gives you dopamine.
Yeah, and you get motivated.
And then it's gonna be easier to check off the bigger things.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. But I'm like someone who I don't procrastinate.
No, I know, but I'm just saying like.
No. I know what you're saying. You're saying it to people who procrastinate. I know what you mean.
Yeah. Because I can procrastinate. Like I'm very good at procrastinating if I can.
Yeah. I start my day off like right away with routine. I get up like especially when you're not home, like if you like, just for instance, like this is how I was when I lived on my own. Yeah. But like when you were in Atlanta for a week, it's like I get up out of bed pretty early, make my bed, and then I go make the dogs food. I feed Oliver. I give Oliver his medicine. I make the dogs food though. Then take them out. Karate chop. Then I take them out, and then I go over like the work I need to do, and then I go to the gym. And it's like I guess like I do have that checklist, but I'm not big on writing out stuff.
No, but you have a mental checklist.
Yeah, but I'm not one of those people that write things out and then do a check. So, like I see that you do that, and
I like doing that.
You love making lists, and you love.
That's also because like I feel like I have so much always going on in my head, like mental stuff, that like to keep track of. So if I have a checklist, it's just knowing that I won't forget anything that I wrote down.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like I even do that when we're packing. I write down a checklist of like things that I need to bring.
See, I don't do that. But I never tend to forget anything. I just like I know the things that I need to bring.
I do tend to forget things because
which I don't like particularly think I have a good memory. I feel like I have a really good short-term memory.
Yeah.
Like I can, whatever I'm doing in that moment, I can remember everything I need to do and then I do it. But like my long-term memory gets a little bit fuzzy. They have like a whole thing they wrote about it, but I'm not going to read it.
You don't have to read it.
The second one is being in love is biochemically the same as having a severe obsessive compulsive disorder.
Great.
Yeah. I can understand that, like, especially when you're first dating.
Start date, yeah.
Like when you really like the person.
Yeah.
You just like, all you want to do is talk to them. All you do is want to hang out with them.
Be close to them, touch them.
Yeah. Like you can, and I understand why that causes.
You just want to talk about them. You want people to bring them up so you can talk about them.
I'm more so like, I don't even like want to talk to other people. I'm like, that's why like a lot of my old roommates got so mad, was because like I just shut everybody out. You know, I was like, I'm just gonna hang out with her.
Yeah.
But I can understand that.
Yeah.
Wanting to. But the thing is like when you're in that space, if that person doesn't fully give it back to you, you can feel crazy.
Yeah.
Because you're always just like, I'm very.
You overthink everything. Every single little signal that's probably not even a signal. You make it into a signal and then you're overthinking that.
Yeah. I used to do that a lot. But I would.
With me?
No, because you and I were very just like right off the bat open and like I felt like we wanted the same thing. Like,
even though we were saying the complete opposite.
Well, we were just like, even though I was saying like I mean, we've talked about all this, but like even though I was saying like I wasn't ready to get into a relationship,
yeah,
I was doing all the things as if we were getting into a relationship.
Yeah.
But it was just like more so for me mentally, like
trying to convince yourself that
I wasn't like trying to convince myself that I didn't like you, and I wasn't trying to not show you that I didn't like you. But I was like, I just wanted you to really probably is just like you to be aware that it's like I was coming out of a long-term relationship, and like I really wasn't I didn't do the work I needed. I think that you would have like the kind of person you deserved, you know.
Yeah.
But I think just us talking about that and being open about it, and like really that first month, like we just got to know each other. We weren't sleeping with each other. I mean, like we were kissing and stuff, and
we were sleeping next to each other.
Yeah. That's the other thing is like we would cuddle like every night, and like but I made it a point to I didn't want to have sex until we were like actually dating, you know, and really, like, I'm happy we did that because I think it brought us a lot closer together. But that's the thing is, like, we were both very open. We always texted back to each other. Like, I never was wondering, what is she doing? Or, like, does she like me? I never had to think that. Like, I just kind of, we told each other how we felt and what we thought. Yeah. Which I loved. But I've been in relationships where you like somebody and you message them and they don't respond for 3 days, and you're just like, they don't like me. But then it's like, but I was the type of person that I was like, I have to be cool and collected. So like, if they don't respond for 3 days and then they respond, I'm not going to respond for I would do that, just be like, okay, they didn't respond for 3 days, I'm not going to respond for 3 days. And then they would be like, hey, well, like, why haven't you hit me up? I was just like, oh, sorry, I've just been like, I'll do the same thing. They'd be like, oh, I've been really busy with stuff.
I've been so busy.
And I never wanted to do that. I hate doing that. It makes me mad.
I hate that too.
Yeah, but it was just
like they make it into like a game.
Yeah. And then like I'm so stubborn that I'll play it back even though I don't want to. And then it's just this endless bullshit loop.
I think my roommate, when we started dating, I think my roommate was like, why are you responding to him instantly when he's texting? And I was like, why do I need to play a game with him? I was like, I like him and I think he likes me, so I want to text them. Why should I wait? Like,
Yeah.
it's so stupid.
It's so annoying how these people, like, how people make these rules in their head, and
like,
it's
you need to play hard to get. And it's like, no, if you like the person, show them that you like them. If they don't like you back, then you're not wasting time on that person. Like,
yeah. Well, I think it's like people do that too when they like, when the ultimate goal for them is to just have sex too.
Yeah.
And that's like,
but I feel like they're not mature for a relationship then.
Yeah.
Because they just want to chase, and then they get bored if they don't have that.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like I've always kind of like, that's the thing is like I've always kind of went from relationship to relationship, you know, like, but I don't know, I was very eager to meet you, you know?
Yeah.
Like I was, and it's not that I didn't want I wanted those past people that I was with. Like I wanted to be with my soulmate, but it no matter what, it didn't work, you know?
Yeah.
And then when I met you, it was like, I was like, finally in my head, I was like I need to work on myself. Like I was already saying that months before I met you, but I was like, I really need to work on myself. I can't get into a relationship. Like I really need to work on myself. I really need to do this. And then I met you, and it was just like everything was like aligned and was just like too good to be true, it seemed like. And then my mind changed, and I was like, I can't fuck this up. I was like, I need to, like, I can't, just because I have these things that I like thought I needed to do. I was like, I can't lose this. And then but yeah, should I do the next one?
I'm sorry, I just thought of a thing.
Please.
Isn't it crazy that you one day just meet a stranger and then decide to spend the rest of your life with that person?
I mean, I should say it's strange, but I don't know.
But isn't it kind of like,
I think we're constantly taught to like meet people that,
because like I cannot imagine, like I can't imagine a life without you.
Yeah.
And knowing that I spent so far, you know, majority of my life not knowing you,
Mm-hmm.
like that's a crazy thought for me.
Yeah. Well, I think I don't know. This is just me kind of like, my mind is just going to this place, and it's probably not correct, or there's probably nothing based behind it. But like, you're raised to like you're just like kind of taught, or you're raised, or you see like people with relationships, and like you go to school, and you're in a classroom full of children, and you're like, I like that one. And then you go be friends with that person.
Yeah.
And then you move to a new grade, and sometimes that person gets put into another class, and you still want to be friends with them, but you just don't see them anymore. And then now you're sitting next to a new person, and you're like, I guess this is my friend now. And then you end up being really good friends.
Yeah.
And then you get put into that next class, and that person is sitting next to you again, and you're like, holy crap, this is crazy. Like, and then you're still friends with that person. And then like, so it's like, I feel like you go through life where you just like pick a random person, and you're like, we're friends now because of your circumstances and situation.
Yeah.
And so we're constantly trained and
But
taught.
isn't it crazy though that two people just pick each other to spend, they're like, I like you, you're spending the rest of your life with me.
Yeah. Well, no, it is strange, but I feel like we go through, because you want that stability. I think
No, I know.
Well, I'm just trying to like, the only reason I'm saying these things because I'm trying to make it make sense in my head of like how I feel. It's like, I don't think anybody really genuinely likes change, because it is an uncomfortable thing. But I think like maybe you get to a certain point in your life where you understand that change is inevitable, and change can be really good, you know, like that means you're growing, and your world around you is growing, and so you have to change and mold to these new surroundings. But I feel like we constantly go through life looking for that person we're going to spend the rest of our life with, you know, like you're constantly looking for that. And so when you do find it, I don't know, it's strange. Yeah, like you're going to spend the rest of your life with me, but it's also like, it's comforting, and like I mean, everyone knows this, like when you find someone that you truly love and that you can just be yourself around and that you're just so incredibly comfortable with, like it's such a freeing and exhilarating and like, and then just calming moment of like, you're like, I don't have to do all of these other things. I don't need to keep saying like, let's try you know, like let's see if this works, and it doesn't.
Yeah.
But it's funny though, even like when I think back on past relationships, like I saw so many moments where I knew already that I was like, this isn't the person I'm supposed to spend the rest of my life with, but I stayed in it because I was uncomfortable with change, you know?
Yeah.
But it was just like, it was just with you, it just like, I kept getting these affirmations of like, she's the right one, she's the right one, she's the right one. Even when we would fight, I'd be like, she's the right one.
I know. I was kind of like, you know how you always see in movies and like people talk about like, oh, you get like cold, you can get cold feet before the wedding, blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. Like I was kind of expecting that to happen, of being like, is this really the person I want to be with? Like just having that like little thinker, but like that never happened.
I know, it never happened.
It never happened. And I was like, yeah, this is the fucking person I want to be with. Like, I'm so sure about it.
Yeah,
like
that never was something that went through my head. And I honestly, like, when I think back on leading up to when I called my family and I was like, I'm gonna ask Michelle to be my wife.
Yeah.
Or I'm gonna ask her to marry me. There was never one moment where I was like, am I making the right decision? I never thought that. Yeah. And it was like, I remember feeling so nervous and having butterflies in my stomach. Not because I didn't think you would say yes.
But it was a big step.
It was just, I wanted you to be moved by the moment. And like, I wanted it to be like really perfect and romantic. And like, I just wanted it to be something that you remembered forever. And like,
you were very nervous.
I was just, that's what made me nervous. Like, cause like, you know how I am, like I'll have expectations of things to be perfect sometimes. And like, but it's like, I do it in a very, in a way that like I also know that it's not going to be perfect, you know, but I still like to have expectations. But I was just so nervous because of that. Not ever once was I thought in my head that I was like, is she the one? I never thought that. But it's like, it's funny though, because like I've had conversations with friends and like acquaintances and people that I know that have like thought they're gonna like I'm gonna pop the question and I could just, there's like just like in here like an unsureness kind of, or like, and I just I never thought that with you. Like I never called anyone and said, should I do this? I called people and said, I'm going to do this. The only person I really asked was your dad. Yeah. I said, I want to ask for Michelle's hand in marriage.
Well, you didn't ask my dad, should I do it? You said, hey, this is what I want to do.
Well, no, I said, can I have Michelle's hand in marriage? Like I literally like phrased it like that. And so yeah, but it was, I mean, if he would have said no, I would have been like, well, too bad, Matt. I'm going to do it. No, but I just wanted his approval, you know, and thankfully I got it, because I want, again, how we talked about how we're both very close with our families. Like I just wanted them to be on board too, because like I know how close you are with your family. Yeah. And so when I'm marrying you, I'm marrying your family as well. And I know some people that like aren't close with their family, and like when they do marry their significant other, they don't have to worry about that. But it's like, I just knew, I was like, we've only been dating for this amount of time, and I've met your family
once.
Well, no, but by this point, I only met them once. Yeah. I think it just was because you talked to him so much, it felt like I knew them.
I think it was also because like when you did meet them, like I think they liked you right away, and then also them seeing how happy you made me and how well you took care of me, and like, you know, they saw how you made me so happy that they liked you even more, because they were like, okay, this is a good guy.
It was all part of my plan.
Oh, shut up. You want to do the next fact?
Yeah, so we're on number 3. In a few hours, you can be convinced you committed a crime that never took place.
I mean, you can convince me that I forgot to lock my car doors 30 minutes ago, even though I know for sure that I did. So yeah.
I mean, I mean, there's like a whole thing about false confessions, you know.
Yeah.
But usually those people are the things that I've watched, the documentaries I've watched. Those people are usually like what would be the correct term? Like mentally impaired, or like
Yeah.
there's usually like they're either like on the spectrum or but no, yeah, I mean, like what you just said, like you locked your car door, we walked 10 feet away. I'm like, did you lock the car door? And you're like, I don't know.
I hate it.
It's all part of my plan. No.
That's why I'm so happy that now for our front door, we can lock it through an app on our phone.
Yeah.
And if I'm ever like, if you ever go, did you lock the front door? I'm like, let me check the app because I'm not sure if I did.
I do it all the time. I get to the gym. I'm like, did I lock the front door? And I check. And
it's always locked, but you just like, just that like insurity of being like, shit, did I lock it?
Well, it's just such a like, I kind of miss having a key because it's like, that was such a, even though it's like you do it every day, that's like a movement that it's hard to forget.
I remember us having a key. What did a key look like? Just like a regular key?
Yeah.
Oh.
It would do the deadbolt. But
you can convince me that we've always had a code.
no, like just pressing the thing and then it's like, meh. It's so easy just to like, you can just like slap your hand on it and it turns and then you walk away.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like, the key thing was like, I knew I locked it. But it's like sometimes when I walk out of the door, I'm like, did I turn off the oven? And I didn't even use the oven. This is what goes back to.
You're bad at turning off the oven though.
Yeah, but
there's so many times that when you're cooking and then like we go and watch a movie and then I'm going back there to the kitchen and I'm just like, why is the oven still on?
Yeah, but like I'm talking about like mornings when I'm fasting all day.
Oh.
And I'm like, all I have to think is like, I haven't eaten today. My stomach is, I'm like, all I have to literally do is just check in with myself and I'm like, well, I'm really hungry right now, so I know I didn't eat. So why the fuck would the oven or the stovetop be on?
We don't need anybody else to convince us that we did a murder. We can convince ourselves that we did.
Yeah. I'm like, did I? No, I would think back on.
Did I kill somebody?
Yeah. So that's a funny one. They have like a whole thing that they talk about, but
yeah.
I don't want to jump too far into that, but
I think that's also why like when you investigate people, you're not allowed to ask leading questions.
Yeah, which on all of the documentaries where I have seen where like they have
false confessions. There's always leading questions in the investigation.
Every single time. They give them little bits of details about the crime scene.
They're like, weren't you at this place at this hour last night? And they're like, yes.
It's such bullshit.
They're like, see, he confessed.
You know what I don't understand is like, I don't understand.
But I would
why people are so determined to pin a crime on somebody when they so clearly know it wasn't them, or when they don't have proper evidence. I understand about like you have so many cases and you just want to shut cases, but real like honestly like even like why am I
think it has a little bit to do with either corrupt systems, or I think it also comes down to because I know there was like a lot of cases that I've seen with people that's been wrongfully convicted.
Yeah.
It's been like, oh, it's a new police chief. He needs to prove himself in this new position, blah, blah, blah.
That's all fine and dandy, but it's
like, crazy because like that's such a common thing that they bring up when people has been wrongfully. It's about someone needing to proving their position or needing to keep the funding or needing like something else, and they do like a corrupt. They're like, we just need to we need to close this case.
It's the same thing like with prosecutors.
Yeah.
It makes me so angry. It's like, do you're just willing to make all these puzzle pieces you force them to fit, to mold to the story you want to be portrayed as the truth. So then you put this like person in prison that doesn't need to be there. And it's like, do all that. You put that person in prison, but the guy that committed the crime is still out there.
Yeah.
And so I just don't get it. Like, because I understand sometimes there's people that believe a certain thing and they're like, I really do think this person committed this crime.
Yeah.
But I've watched so many documentaries where like you're hearing these public defense, or you're hearing these prosecutors, and they are 100% fabricating evidence.
Yeah.
They're making it up, and it's
Yeah.
like, so you are just fucking sinister.
Yeah.
Like you're just trying to put this innocent person behind bars for the rest of their life, and it's like those types of people are
Evil.
useless pieces of shit. They're like mosquitoes. It's like they have no purpose on this earth. Like it's
Mosquitoes
oh my
have a
God.
purpose on this earth.
No, they don't. Fuck
Yes, they
mosquitoes.
do.
What? Spread the West Nile virus? Fuck
They're
them.
they're food for birds.
Birds can eat flies. Okay.
Whatever.
We don't need
they
mosquitoes.
they contribute to something.
I hate mosquitoes. I hate them.
Oh.
But no, I just it's so infuriating when you see that. It's like, because it, like, when I thought about like how I wanted to get into being a police officer to like make a difference, and it's I would never want to falsely arrest somebody. Like if I'm arresting someone, I want to make sure that I'm actually taking a criminal off the street, you know?
Yeah.
Like I would never just have my numbers look good and to make my quota that month. That doesn't even make sense to me.
Yeah.
It
No,
literally
I know.
makes no sense to me.
I know.
But let's do the next one before Andrew starts flipping out. Number 4, there are genes that determine whether you're an early riser or a night owl. That's interesting.
Really?
That's interesting. I wonder.
Ooh.
I'm
neither.
Yeah, Michelle's neither.
I'm just
What does
tired.
that mean?
I'm just tired all the time.
Well, I love mornings.
Yeah.
I love mornings because I think what instilled this in me was my mom is a morning person.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my favorite memories growing up, my favorite memories is I would get up with my mom like early there, and Sonic the Hedgehog was a show that only played at like fucking like
5 a.m.
Like 5 a.m. You can't, it never played any time other than like early morning.
Yeah.
And then all of my sisters and I had an addiction to hot chocolate in the morning. We all drink hot, like not hot to where you can't drink it.
No, but hot chocolate.
Like
a
it was
drink.
just like, it was just warm. My mom would do milk, Nesquik, microwave it, and I had to drink it out of a specific cup. It was a dark green cup with this like sippy lid on it. And I'm telling you, I did this till too old. But I would get up with her. She would put that show on. I would lay on the couch. She would make the hot chocolate in that cup, and I would just like put it back and just drink it till it was gone. It was almost like a bottle to me. I don't know. There was something with doing that. Like I loved getting up in the morning with her and just doing that. And but that's the time of day for me where I am the most productive. Like that first 3 hours of being awake from like 5:30 to like 7:30 or 8, like even, I'm like, my brain is firing on all cylinders and I'm ready to go.
Yeah. For me, it's like I do love when I'm able to get up early, because I love like getting a head start of things. I love being out. Like my favorite time of the day is like Saturday mornings in downtown LA, like if I need to go to the grocery store, because it's empty. And I feel like I'm so much more productive if I get up early and get everything done. Like if I get all my stuff done before lunch, I'm like, who am I? I'm a superhero. But in a creative way, I am way more productive in the evenings. I get all of these creative thoughts in the evenings that are just like, I want to do this and I want to do this, and I'm like, oh, it's too late to start doing that. And it also like, it kind of like collide in a way, because I want to be a person that wakes up early in the morning, goes to bed early at night, and get that 8 hours of sleep. But I'm also like very tired in the morning, but I'm also very tired at night. And sometimes I feel super productive in the evenings, that I stay up later, and then I still want to get up early in the morning. Like it's,
You know what you need? You need
make
a nap.
up my mind.
No, you need a nap.
I hate naps. I hate naps. If I take a nap, I will be tired for the rest of the day.
I think
naps
if
do
you
not
do
work
it,
for me.
if you do it in the right way.
No, naps do not
like
work
be
for
really
me.
productive the first part of your morning. Like get up early, have that full 8 hours of sleep, but like get up early, do all that stuff you're talking about, and then work out. Do like a gym session. Then do a gym session, which you don't really have built into your routine. Do a gym session, come home, and shower, and then take like a 35-minute power nap. Like because
I can't do that. The thing
you
is
have,
like this.
But how can you say you can't do that when you've never done that routine that I just said?
No, because the thing is that even if I'm just like, oh, I'm just gonna lay on the couch and watch like a show for 20 minutes and like
that's different
and like nap.
Yeah, but that's different. That's not the same thing.
I will lay there for the next 6 hours.
Because that's not the same thing as what I'm saying. I'm telling you, this is.
I don't like naps.
This is the. If
no.
I would tell you if you did what I just said it like I'm saying like you have to be when I get up at like 4:35 a.m. and then I do all my like studying stuff that I'm doing and then I go work out really hard for 3 hours. When I come home, I'm like a zombie and I'm like I don't try to take naps. That's the thing. That's the other thing is I'll come home and I'm like I still need to work on some of the stuff. So I start like reading like a script and I'm like going over it and I'm like literally head dropping and it's 1 o'clock. And I'm just like, fuck, I'm so tired. So then what I do is I put a 35-minute timer on my phone. I lay on the couch. I have the music playing on YouTube, the dog's music that they listen to when we're gone. That's playing. I just cuddle
it's so cozy.
Lucy comes up next to me. I pass out for 35 minutes and I wake up it's like the wake up where I'm like, oh shit, I'm late for school. And I don't even have school. But then after that, I'm like very good after that.
Yeah.
I think there's something too about doing a really hard workout session, and then coming home and then just passing out. There's like a good thing with that. And the only reason I'm cutting you off right now and saying like you don't know is because like I haven't really seen you do that routine before, and I've done that for like quite a few years, where I'm really in it.
Yeah, but they also just said that you have different DNAs.
I know, but I'm just saying before you say you
just
can't.
Just because you are like that doesn't mean that everybody else is like that.
Yes, I know, but also
because it's the same when you were like talking about skincare with me, and you were like, you need to do this and this and that. Just use. What were you were using like Dove.
Well,
Dove on your face, and you were like, I just do this, and my skin looks flawless. And I was like, yes, but we have different skins.
Listen to me.
I get what you're saying,
I have done what you're saying.
Okay, but...
No, but
Question. Am I a night person, though, or am I a morning person?
Well, if you did my routine, you could be both.
Oh, shut up.
No, but...
Okay, next
No,
fact.
hold on. Well, no, hold on.
Fact.
Let me say one more thing. One more thing. I forgot what I was going to say.
So he's not saying one more thing.
No, hold on.
I'm holding.
Oh, fuck, I forgot.
I'm holding. Okay, next one.
When we first started dating, you definitely were a night person. This is not what I was going to say, but...
Yeah, but that was because I was in school and my whole, brain was threading on I need to be creative. And I was always working on homeworks.
Yeah, I would come over to your house and I would just I would just sleep while you literally were sewing in the bedroom with your little light on. Yeah. And I would just sleep and you were just working till 3 a.m.
Yeah.
You did that every night.
Yeah.
And that was I was that point too, when I was still living in Sherman Oaks, I was literally getting 4 hours of sleep a night. I just could not sleep through the night. So I would...
But that was the thing. I also went up at 6 in the morning because I had school at 8. So that's what I'm saying. I'm very much from time to time it change. Sometimes I only run on 4 hours of sleep, and sometimes I need 12 hours of sleep.
This is what I was going to say. Was how you said you can't take naps. Every time I
didn't say I can't take naps, but I said I don't like taking naps.
I know, but I've done those days with you where we get up and we're the days that if I don't gym, which is very rare, but we've had those days where we're like kind of lounge around the house.
Yeah, you make me so lazy.
Well, no, but those days when we've done those lounging around the
I don't
houses,
like
that's why we do that maybe once every 3 months.
I don't like it. I feel so unproductive when we do
Anyways,
that.
when we've done that, when we have taken naps midday, it's like you sleep for 5 hours and it's like midday. I know. I'm saying those aren't naps. A nap is like you're productive all morning. You got up early. You do all these things. You exert yourself. Then you come home and you literally set a timer on your phone. 30 minutes, 35 minutes.
I'm going to snooze that.
No, you won't.
I know myself.
No.
I'm going to snooze it.
I don't know.
I don't think I need naps. I'll just cope in a different way.
I think naps are a great way to deal if you like to get up early and also kind of...
For you, it's good. For me, it's not.
You never tried it. Agree to disagree. Anyways, next, number 5. Being alone for long periods of time is bad. Being alone for long periods of time is as bad as smoking. I don't know how
and
true
you're leaving me?
I don't know how true this is.
You're leaving me.
I don't think that's right. This I don't know. Someone might need to fact check.
No,
that.
I do believe that. Like, I'm not going to be alone because I'm going to go to...
But as bad as smoking cigarettes?
I think it's bad. Not as bad like an effect on your body, but I think it has a bad effect on your mind.
If my mom heard this, she would be like, well, that's great because I'm never alone when I smoke. And so it's just like she would try to twist
That's why everybody has a smoke square that they go and smoke with other people.
I hope that's not true because I spend a lot of time alone during the day. Like my only period
you
is
go to the gym.
Yes, but I'm listening to like either
you're with the dogs. I'm thinking like alone.
Yeah, I guess I talk to the dogs a lot.
Yeah, so I think it's just mostly like, and you have a sense of like family when you're with the dogs, you know.
But I feel like when you leave for work, in the morning, as soon as I wake up in the morning, I feel like, and then that once you get up. We have that brief moment of like that's when we're talking and stuff, and then you leave for work. But I feel like for majority of the day, I'm just in my head. Yeah. I'm up in my head thinking of like things that I need to. I don't know.
But I don't think like being alone for a few hours a day is bad. I think it's more like if say that you're a person that like shut yourself into your apartment, working from home, like never doing meetings, like everything is just electronically sent in. And you don't go out, you order groceries home. Like, you never leave the house. You never see another person for, like, a week. Like, that's not good for you.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm thinking more that it is.
Yeah, that's definitely
like, that I can see being, like, mentally destructing your body in a way.
No, yeah, I agree. I feel like when I've had moments of, like, before...
I get really sad when I'm alone.
Well, I've had moments where, like, when I lived alone, and, like, for instance, like, when I'd have really bad hangovers or, like things back in San Diego, and then, like, I would have a bad hangover, and then, like, I did drugs with friends, and then, like, my immune system would be really low. As I thought I was recovering from, like, a hangover, I would get sick. And then I would be really sick for like 4 or 5 days. And then I literally wouldn't leave my apartment for like 5 days.
Yeah.
It was like eating whatever I had in the fridge, eating whatever I had in the cupboards. And then like that, I had to call out of work and missed all these things. Just didn't answer my phone, didn't answer text messages. Like I would talk to my mom maybe and just tell her like, oh, I think I have the flu. But just be really sick, cold sweats, chills, blah, 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 all that. And then, like, that initial day where I finally was like, your body's achy, but you feel a little bit better. You're like, okay, I have to get my life back together and, like, go back to work. That first initial day back, like, the first conversation you have with somebody is, like, feels so weird. You're like, I forgot how to talk to people. But that's the thing, too, because I think it's 2 different types of alone you can have. You can have... being alone by choice, which I kind of like.
if like I made the decision like I need my own time right now. Like I've even said that to you, like, hey, I just need like to be by myself for an hour, just sit in the bedroom and like just do my own thing without talking to anybody, or like I just want to sit and sew, like I just want to be like in my bubble. That's, I think, is good for you. But when you're not alone, if you're alone not by choice, like I want to spend time with people, I want to be with people, but nobody's available, that's heartbreaking for me.
Yeah.
You know? Like if you're away, like filming a movie, and I want to like spend time with someone, but everybody's working or nobody's like here, then I can feel very lonely. Like it makes me sad.
Even with Lucy and Oliver and Ellie?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
They're always following me around the house.
Oh, they do that with me too.
I don't know. I talk to Lucy a lot. Lucy, who is I talk to the most. I talk a little bit to Oliver. Ellie.
I talk to all of them.
Ellie doesn't respond to me, so she never talks.
I talk to
back.
Ellie all the time.
She never talks back to me.
She talks to me. It's funny how we made the assumption yesterday that Ellie's first impression of Andrew was that you're a burglar.
Yeah.
Because you were working the night shift. You were working night filming a movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. We were talking about that I was talking to Ellie. That Ellie thought you were a burglar.
Oh yeah.
You filmed a movie.
Yeah.
And you got home at like 2:30 a.m.
I was shooting like all through the night. Like I had to be at set at like 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then I'd get home at like 7 a.m. or something.
Yeah, no, this time you came home. I think you came home at like 2 or 3 at night.
Okay.
Because it was like a full week when you shot only night scenes.
Yeah.
And Ellie's just first reaction was someone breaking into the house.
So Michelle that day picked up Ellie from the airport,
yeah.
And that was when we first got Ellie, and so she got that whole like moment to meet with Ellie and sit with her and kind of get to know her, and then you drove her back to our house, and then she got comfortable in our home and space, and then they were sleeping in the bed.
Yeah.
And then I come home at 3 a.m. and she's like, who the fuck is this guy? And then
and we were like...
Ever since then, she was just like, I can't believe we let this burglar just stay with us. It's like, Christ, Michelle, you have real problems.
She still is like very unsure about...
I don't know why. She's just
not
like,
really, though. She's been more and more cuddly lately.
I mean, when Michelle's not home, Ellie is definitely more... Like, she'll follow me around and she sits by my feet at the couch and stuff. But, like... As soon as Michelle gets home, she's like, doesn't even fucking know me. She's like, bye-bye. I don't like you. I'm not your dog.
I mean, that's kind of you and Lucy, though.
I know. That's what I'm like happy about is like
Yeah.
Lucy fucking loves me. Like Lucy's my girl.
Yeah, I think it's because you spent the night with her.
Yeah.
The first night in the bathroom with her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which was nice.
Let's do...
Do you have one more?
No, that was it. That was the last one.
That was it? Let me see what I wrote down in the
Michelle
book.
wrote some stuff down about...
Just some questions.
Yeah.
Or not questions, just... I have one question, though, that I want to discuss. Do you think personality is shaped by genetics or environment?
I mean, well, clearly we just saw one fact that it said certain people's genes determine if they're a morning person or a night like a night owl.
Yeah.
I think genes definitely, obviously, I think 100% genes play a role in how you're going to be.
Yeah.
But I definitely think if you nurture certain traits in a person, like they're going to lean more towards that. But it's interesting because like I think it was Ted Bundy who had a very normal childhood. Like
Yeah.
I think he had loving parents, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And he turned out to be a serial killer. So I think genetically people are just wired a certain way, and maybe
because I remember for the first time I brought up this question, you were like, well, environment shapes a person.
Yeah.
I mean, we said both, but then you were like, environment definitely shapes a person. I said, well, the reason I'm bringing this up is because there was a case about a boy. I think his name was Dave. I don't know if that was his real name, but in the people that told the story, I think they called him Dave. I think. And
that's fine. Let's call him Dave.
Let's call him Dave. He got kidnapped from the hospital when he was 2 days old.
Mm-hmm.
And the cops were looking for him and the family was trying to find him. And it was basically a woman that came in dressed up as a nurse, saying that she was going to go and like do some checking vitals or whatever on him, and then took him out of the room and then just left the hospital.
Sounds a lot like Zeta's story.
Crazy. And a year later, they found an abandoned baby in like a stroller, and everybody expected the mom to like, you need to check if this is your baby. And they was like the only thing that they could like determine, like they checked like how the baby would look at like as a 1-year-old, blah blah blah. And they were like, we couldn't determine that it was the baby, but we also couldn't determine that it wasn't.
Why not? They couldn't do a DNA test?
I don't think it existed at this time. This is an old case.
Huh.
So I don't think they had DNA testing yet.
But
I'll get to that. I'll get to that. And the mom was like, well, either this is my son and I bring him home, or it's not my son, but like it's a 50-50 chance basically.
I wouldn't give it those numbers, but yeah.
But she determined that this was her son. The boy grew up there in the family, blah blah blah. And I think like 40 years later, he found out they did DNA testing, and he found out because like he got questioned if he wanted to do DNA testing, and first he was like no, because the parents didn't want to do it, and the mom was like, it doesn't matter to me, you are my son. And I think she also didn't want to know if like her actual son was like
still out there. Yeah.
But then he did the DNA testing anyways, and found out that he wasn't their son. He also found out that he had a twin that disappeared, that probably was dead. And I think 20 years later from that, he actually found the original son, who was still alive, who got adopted by a different family. And what they were saying was like, this guy that grew up in the family as David, like the new David that they found a year later in a stroller, he had all of his like interest and everything was the same as his original family's, like his relatives from the original family, like with his interest in music, of becoming like in a band and all of that. Like it was a bunch of different stuff.
So what you're getting at is like, so genetically the parents of the kid that never knew his parents, genetically he just liked all the similar things that his parents would have liked.
Yeah.
And then the one that was raised by the parents that wasn't actually their son by blood, he was in that environment and liked all of the same things.
No.
And was like, oh, I thought you were saying...
No. So what I was saying was that the guy that grew up as David, I don't know about the guy that was the actual David, the guy that got kidnapped. I don't know about him because he never came out, like he never wanted to go public. But the guy that grew up as David, he is the one that's like, he's written a book about this whole story. Mm-hmm. And he was saying like all of my interests and everything never lined up with the family that I grew up with.
Okay.
And he's been like connected to like other relatives from his original family that he's related to, and he has all the similar interest and everything to them. Yeah. So that's what they were talking about, genetics. But
I guess it would just depend too on like how old were those relatives? Are they the same age as him? But so that, well, then that also, it's just that time period they're growing up in as well. I think that all plays a part in it, because it's like
But he also grew up with his siblings that were the same age as him, like only a year between, and they were completely different.
Wow.
So that's what I'm saying. Like,
I would have to see this case and to determine that.
But then it was also another case
because
of,
what are
of
his
two
siblings?
twins.
His siblings are girls.
No, they were also boys.
Okay.
But the thing was, another case that I saw was two twins being separated at birth, growing up on different sides of the U.S., one on the East Coast, one on the West Coast. And they found each other, like, in their early 20s. And, like, they were identical twins, so they looked the same. But also, like, they had the exact same aesthetic in clothing. They had the exact same hairstyle. They had the exact same, like, hair color. They had, like, everything was exactly the same.
Yeah.
And they were like, we've never known each other, but we're still an identical copy of each other, basically.
Yeah. I think I'm sure there's a million cases though of like twins separated at birth and they're nothing alike.
Yeah. But then you also had that show about the triplets.
Yeah. Yeah, but they grew up in the same. I'm pretty sure they grew up in the same
area.
Yeah. So it's like, but yeah, I mean it's definitely interesting. I think genetics do have a huge part that's played, but like I know I keep bringing up like serial killers and like that stuff, but I've watched a lot of serial killer documentaries, and typically a common denominator with serial killers is like they didn't get a lot of affection as babies. They weren't held. They were usually left alone in cribs. They usually are physically and mentally abused.
Yeah.
Then they start showing signs of they like to
hurt animals.
Like these are all very like common denominators.
Yeah.
And so I think your environment, depending on the person and their, again, it's just like it has to be case by case, I think, because maybe some genetics outweigh the things that would cause that person to end up following whatever environment they're in that pushes on these certain things, you know, like if that makes sense. But it's definitely, it's interesting, like, but I mean, when I think about my mom and dad, like my dad's interests and my mom's interests, my dad is very, very intelligent, in the sense of like he's really good at like math. He can literally take apart and put together anything. Like he was always just interested in how things worked. So he's a mechanic by trade. He can work on he literally can like he can turn on a car. Like when I worked with him, he would do this thing where he would turn the car on and just listen to it. And then he would just listen to it, and typically if there was something wrong with it and it was making a noise, he knew what it was. And he would open the hood up and he'd be like, this is what's wrong. And then he would check it and be like, yep, he would verify, like, yeah, that's what's wrong with it. Or he would, if it was a little bit harder and the noise was a little bit more faint, he would just drive it around the block, and he would come back and be like, all right, this is what we have to do. And then we would do it. And then at nighttime, when we would be, I remember growing up, he would take apart like electronics and mess with it. Like he would buy like broken cameras or broken VCRs or things that were broken, and he would come home, take them apart, fix it, and then he had a brand new thing that he bought for like $1. And so he loved doing that. He was just really, really smart. And
oh my god, I have a film camera with the flash is broken. Maybe I should just give it to your dad. He can try to,
I mean, he
mess around with it.
Yeah, he would probably be able to figure it out pretty quickly. But I saw that, and I was like, I didn't really have those interests. I was never like, I liked working with him, and I liked when I did stuff and he was like, he would say good job or something. Like I loved that feeling. But I really had no interest of like, I wonder how these things work. I really didn't care. I was just doing it because I wanted him to like be proud of me or something.
Yeah.
But my mom is like, she loves to sing. She has a very addictive personality. She has somewhat of a drinking problem, but she's like functional. She's a functioning alcoholic, if you want to call it. I love you, Mom. I'm sorry.
She's not.
She is. She drinks every day. That's, you would consider.
Okay, just move on.
Anyways, I love you, Mom. But she kind of is like similar to me. Like she likes to kind of be like the center of attention, and she loves karaoke and she loves to sing, and like I definitely got all of that from her. So I'm like,
But that's also the case. I think usually as a boy you gain more of the mom's traits, and as a girl you gain more of the dad's traits. Because I see myself more as my dad.
Yeah, but it's, I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you, but I've met so many guys that like are just like their dads.
Yeah.
Like I remember just like lots of friends growing up in high school, like they were so much like their dad.
Yeah.
They were like little,
maybe it's case by case.
they were little
too.
like mini versions of their dad, you know. And so but yeah, like I definitely my sister Kasha is more like my dad in the sense of like she's very hard, and she's not like very big on like saying I love you, and like she'll say it but she'll be like I love you, you twat, like she'll say stuff like that. But she's very like hard and more, I don't know how to like mentally I don't know the term, but she's more like my dad. And then my mom and I are very affectionate, very loving, and like I'm really quick to say I love you to somebody if I think they need to hear that, and like
yeah,
and willing to take care of somebody. Like I got all of that from my mom. Like that's definitely my mom's traits. But then I have a little bit of my dad's like anger, like where I blow up really easily, and that's all of him. But my mom kind of has that too. So it's like
you have a little bit of both.
Yeah.
You know, everybody has a little bit of both. That's why you have both parents' DNA.
But sorry, I want you to talk about everything about you. I just want to say one more thing before I forget this. It's like my family yells a lot. Like it's a headache. And I don't realize, like I realize it more now when I go home to visit, but it's like everyone's having a great time. One person says something and then we all jump on top of that, and then next thing you know, we're all just like, shut the fuck up, like what are you talking, like we start all yelling. And like I notice people that aren't used to that environment, they're all like, they're shell shocked. You do a good job with it, but like I've had past girlfriends in that environment, and they're just like, this is so dysfunctional, like this is not normal. And like my family and I will say awful things to each other, and then immediately after we're like, I'm so sorry I said like I love you, like, and we'll just we move on. And then like I've seen past girlfriends, they're like, I just watched your mom say this awful thing to your sister, and then they both were saying fuck you to each other, and then within maybe 30 seconds they said I'm sorry and I love you, and they all moved on from what was just said. And like I'm sitting here traumatized just by that little moment, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's like we're just
family.
Yeah, but it's I don't know, and it's like I don't want to bring that into our family, like when we start our family, like. But it's like,
it's funny, one trait that you have from your dad is like you speak so loud, like you're almost yelling.
Yeah.
But you're not yelling. You just both have very powerful voices, and when you guys are on the phone together,
we're both doing it to each other.
You're both like just screaming on the phone. I'm like, babe, please just like lower your voice. And you're like, I'm not screaming. And then you both just like keep talking like so loud, and I'm just like, I can't even be in the same room as you guys because you're just like screaming on, like it's not an aggressive scream. It's just like you both talk, and you have like. And that's the thing too, like when you're singing, you have such a powerful voice because it gets so loud without even screaming. But you also use that when you're talking on the phone, and I'm like, you don't have to scream. Like
there's a really, really funny bit that Bill Burr does, and he's like, I'm not angry right now. I'm talking loudly so you hear what I'm saying and you can't interrupt me. And he's like, I have a point that needs to be made. And it's like
sorry for interrupting, but do you know that when we do this podcast, my mic has a higher sensibility because I talk lower than your mic, and
mine's turned down
because yours is like, since you talk in a louder voice, like I need to do that because otherwise it's gonna be like your voice gonna be really loud, and then my voice is gonna be like you're not gonna hear what I'm saying because I'm
Yeah.
like not talking as loud as you.
Yeah. Well, it's like we have arguments when you tell me like this interesting fact or something, or this thing you heard about, and then I tell you my point on it, and you're like, it will cause us to fight because you're like, can you stop yelling? And I'm like, I'm not yelling, and you're like, you're so aggressive. I'm like,
But
no,
yeah.
like I'm like, no, I'm not mad. I'm just trying to tell you what my thought on that is. And I'm like, I get carried away with it.
You get so excited that you're almost screaming at me, and I'm just like, I'm sorry.
Well, no, but then you're like, quit being so aggressive, and I'm like, no, I'm excited about what I'm saying, and I need you to hear what I'm saying, and then that leads us into getting
But that's the
into
thing
an
too.
argument
If we're arguing and you're talking really loud, and I start talking really loud, and you're like, don't scream.
Well, it's just I'm not
And I'm
used
just
to.
like-
I'm never used to you like being that loud, so I think that's why I'm like.
You're like, you need to lower your voice, because also when I get loud, I get a higher pitch.
Well, yeah, you're actually like.
I'm not
yelling.
screaming. I just get a very high pitch.
You're like yelling.
No,
I can be loud without yelling. Is what you.
I can be
just been
loud
saying.
without yelling too.
It's funny though, but yeah, no, I have that from my dad. Like,
Yeah, you
so
do.
bad. Yeah, it's like when him and I are on I have it on speakerphone and we're fucking yelling into the phone. I'm like, no, Dad, like you don't understand about what's happening in this world right now, and like, and then he's like, you don't understand.
I've also had I've heard your mom being like, Andrew, why are you yelling?
Yeah, she'll say it to me too. She's like, can you quit it, Richard? She'll call me Richard. She's like, can you stop, Richard?
I'm dead.
We digress.
Should we round it out?
Did you have anything interesting on there, or should we just?
I mean, I have coping mechanism and cultural differences, but
That's like, we can maybe save that.
Yeah.
I do want to list this, since we were just like, because I wanted to bring this up about psychology. I peed the bed
yeah, that was the
until
last one.
real late. I remember being afraid to stay at friends' houses in 7th grade because I was afraid I might piss the bed. I think I had hit or miss pee the bed in 7th grade, at home, but it wasn't every night, but I just had moments where I wouldn't get up, I would sleep through, and then I'd piss the bed. And looking into that, and past therapists I've talked to, apparently they told me it was because of traumatic experiences when I was a child, but what the fuck do they know? I have a GED in psychology.
See, I was also wetting the bed, I think until I was 8. And I remember my mom, she's like, you just need to ask yourself, am I dreaming right now? And if you're not, then you can go to the bathroom. Because in my dream, I dreamt that I went to the bathroom and I peed, but then I peed the bed. And I remember one of the last times I peed the bed, I was in the dream and I was looking in the mirror. I'm like, am I awake right now?
You know the Kermit the Frog meme where he's looking at him, so he's like, don't do it. And then he has the hood
And
on
then
in the mirror.
in the dream I was like, no, you're awake. And I was like, okay, good. And then I went and I peed the bed and I was like, God damn it.
Yeah. I remember I stayed at my buddy Eric's house and I peed the bed in his bed.
Oh.
And I was so embarrassed, and it sucked, and we had a sleepover, and I think I might have been in 6th grade or something, but it fucking sucked.
It's so embarrassing.
Yeah. And but he was one of my
you
good
shouldn't be
friends.
embarrassed as a kid, but
He didn't care.
it is in the moment, you feel so embarrassed.
Well, yeah, you're just so ashamed of yourself.
Yeah.
And you just feel like what is fucking wrong with me?
Yeah.
There was this I used to sleepwalk too, pretty bad.
Yeah.
But that kind of stopped when I got.
Well, you're still talking in your sleep.
Yeah, but this was bad. My mom told me about this story. She said that this is when I was full force pissing the bed every night.
Not the full force.
My mom did a lot of laundry. No, but there was one night that I got up. I thought I walked into the bathroom and peed in the toilet.
Yeah.
But my mom said I walked out. She was up kind of late watching TV. And I get up, walk past the couch, and we had this little closet before the kitchen. And I opened up the kitchen. My mom's like, what are you doing, Andrew? And I just didn't. I was just it's talking to my, like when the stepbrothers are like, that's what she said. I just kind of murmured something. And I opened the door, and then she just hears, psst. like I pulled my little wiener out through the boxers and I just started pissing on the shoes in the closet. And she's like, "What the?" And she picked me up and took me into the bathroom and put me in the bathtub. And she's like, it was so weird. You just walked out there, you just pissed into all of our shoes.
What I'm hearing here is that our kids are gonna have a bedwetting problem.
No, I don't. I mean, if they do, that's fine, and we'll deal with that. But
We'll just get those like bed protectors.
No, but what the therapist that I spoke to, the reason why I did that had a lot to do with things that I experienced as a kid.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we're talking about genetics and environment, so.
Yeah, but that's
since
what
you and I.
I'm thinking,
wet the bed until later ages, maybe the genetics will stay.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm like, because like you didn't go through a lot of the things I went through, so it's like it's interesting that you peed the bed too, but you also are a heavy sleeper.
Yeah.
You are such a heavy sleeper.
I'm such a heavy sleeper.
Yeah, it's like
I love it.
I think like I've even become more of a light sleeper. Like I've always been a light sleeper, but even more so I'm a light sleeper because like I feel like I'm constantly like listening, like if anyone tries to open the door or if
but that's the thing though, because as soon as there's like something with the animals, like Oliver is like coughing up a hairball in the bathroom, like as soon as he starts coughing I wake up and I'm just like, what was that? Because as soon as there's something that's like with the animals or with you or like something like that, like I will wake up. And that's why I'm also like, I know it's because I don't know if you've heard, but it's saying like with being a mother, the female brain is still like 70% awake during the night because it's listening for
we'll see about
the baby to cry.
We'll see about that when we have kids. I feel like I'm going to 100% be the one that, I mean, I understand like if you carried the baby, I'll be the one waking up with it, but I already know, like, I hear everything in our apartment. The little clicking sound of our air conditioning outside, when I hear that. Even if I'm asleep, I hear it click on. I'm, like, hyper aware because I have in my head that if someone comes in, I have that little baton bat thing that was your grandfather's that he used as a police officer in Sweden. I have that right there on the bed. Like, I need enough time to where, like, I can get up and go out into that dark living room before that person is fully adjusted to his surroundings.
Maybe that's why I sleep so well, because I know that no matter what, you will be there protecting me.
I just know I have a quick. I
I
have a very quick. I have to have a quick response to that person getting in through the front door and then getting his eyes adjusting to the darkness. I already have to be in place around that counter to wait for him to walk through, and I hit him in the head and he's unconscious, and then I beat him until he's dead.
Yeah. Great.
Don't fucking break into our house.
Our apartment.
Whatever.
Should we wrap it up?
Let's wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I'm almost certain you probably haven't learned anything about psychology.
Well, they learned things about us.
Yeah. Oh, there was a Twitch. So I want to say one more thing.
Mm-hmm.
There was a twitch that I still kind of have, but like I had it really bad when I was little. Like when things stressed me out, I'd be like,
oh, you still do it. And then this.
Yeah. I do it more so now because it's funny because my sisters make fun of me for it. But like it was
if you watch Secret Life of a Dominatrix, you will see that.
Did I do that?
You did it.
No, I didn't.
When you got mad in the
I thought I hit my head.
Oh, maybe.
I did not do that. If I did that in there, that's crazy. That was like totally real. That's scary if I did that. No, I think I'm like, I do that, but I can't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was like my sister's. There's Night at the Roxbury.
Yeah. Night
at the Roxbury. Chris Kattan's character, and I think Will Ferrell does it. They're like they do that. I didn't get it from that, but my sisters would always make fun of me and say that that's what it was like, because I would just be like, when I'd get stressed.
It's either that or like doing it in your hair, yeah.
Yeah. That's a real twitch. So.
You mean tick?
Tick.
Not a twitch.
It's kind of a twitch, but yeah, it's like a tick. It's weird.
It's a tick.
There's something probably wrong with me.
No.
But she loves me anyways, guys.
I love him.
She loves it.
Hey, I love you.
I love you.
We'll see you guys next week.
See you guys next week. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, follow us on all the socials.
If you have any fun facts, please comment them below.
Yes, please.
We want to know.
I've been pretty bad about responding to people on Instagram and on YouTube comments because I have a lot of stuff going on, but I'll respond.
Yeah.
I don't know when, but I will. I promise.
We love reading the comments, I promise.
We do love reading the comments, so thank you guys so much.
We'll get better at responding to them. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Things are happening to